it's Monday with Mark. It's Mondays with Mark. Not Tuesday, not Wednesday, not Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Mondays with Mark. Hey, hey, hey. It's Mondays with Mark, and my brother said it's Mondays with Mark. Not Tuesday, not Wednesday, why is it Monday? 'Cause it's Mondays with Mark. I'll tell you why. 'Cause Mondays are usually depressing. Mondays are usually insane. Mondays are really not worth living unless you tune into Mondays with Mark. I'm making all this up as I go with my brother. And it's time. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Mondays with Mark. I'm glad you're here. I always look forward to this all week long. I'm looking forward. Did you like our little opening that my brother and I just said, Mike, just do a riff. And look at my backup singers, the Pipettes. This is Gay, Nell, DeHart. They got so many names. You know, these United Pentecostals, they're all intermarried, interbred. You never know. Every cousin's married. I my uncle, dad. Oh, you know you all are. Everybody's related. Of course, these are related because this is their mother. This is Gaylin over here. And Colleen. You know Colleen. We go to dinner all the time. And my brother, I got a new guitar this week. My brother helped me pick out a guitar, y'all. I am going to start guitar lessons. Look, it's a Taylor, and it's got a tuner on the end of it, so I can't go out of pitch. But I have learned a chord. Wait, let me see if that's right. It's a D, right?
D.
Okay, is that it?
Right.
Right there, and then there.
Right.
And then there.
Right.
There.
That's
Is that
it.
right?
4 strings.
Anyway, I'm taking guitar lessons. But I'm glad you're here, Mike. Thank you. My brother's here for Thanksgiving. I hope you're with your loved ones this Thanksgiving. Hope you're surrounded by people you don't only love, you like them. I like him. Now, I didn't always like him. When he was beating the fool out of me as a young child, I did. But he turned out to be all right. He's perfect. This is the perfect one. Let's see, what are they saying, Colleen? You reading the comments?
Yeah, hey Mark, hi from London. Good.
Oh, London. Hello, London.
Older or younger brother?
This is my older brother. He's 2.5 years older than me, and he's married to the best thing that's ever happened to the Lowry family. Her name is Natasha, and she allowed him to come Thanksgiving with me down here in Houston with all my peeps and my friends and loved ones, and we're going to be seeing relatives and stuff. And then she went to Georgia, took her mother to Georgia to visit all that family in Georgia. So fortunately,
So
Natasha.
it's our first time to be split up in 36 years.
I'll say that again.
First time to be split up on Thanksgiving.
Was that hard?
It's not fun.
Are you having a good time?
Not really.
Oh.
No, yes.
Are you homesick?
No, well, I missed everybody.
Does it feel like camp, when you couldn't get home?
It doesn't feel like Thanksgiving.
Oh, it will on Thursday?
Yeah.
Thursday, we're having Thanksgiving with Aunt Linda and Uncle Lewis and a few of those relatives. All right, now listen. Mike, I want you to play. We practiced this, and y'all sing along at home, okay? Where we go, what a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms. What a blessedness, what a peace is mine, leaning on the everlasting arms. Leaning, safe and secure from all alarm. Leaning, everlasting arms. Now what have I to dread? What have I to fear? Leaning on the everlasting arms. I have blessed peace with my Lord so near. Leaning on the everlasting arms. Safe and secure from all alarm, where we are leaning on the everlasting arm, where we are leaning on Jesus, safe and secure from all alarm, leaning on Jesus, on the everlasting arm, leaning on the everlasting arms. Did you sing at home? I hope you sang. Did you like that? Give me a lot of hearts and love and all that kind of stuff. I saw a thumb go up, but give me some if you like that. Hey, listen, I want to make sure that you are signed up for the Mark Lowry Spring Fling Cruise that's going to be happening in March of 2019. Please don't miss it. My brother Mike will be there. I'll bring my guitar, so he'll have to play. You got to earn your keep. So he's over there shaking his head. He gets quiet when the camera gets on him. He's pretty quiet. Anyway, he'll be there. Natasha will be there. You'll meet her. The Ball brothers, the Martins, Taranda Green Bean, Stan Whitmire, my pastor Brett Jones, not my mom. Mom won't be there. My dad will be there. Daddy's going to be there. Daddy and Missy are coming, and so that'll be fun. And a bunch of friends, right?
Yeah, the Browns are coming.
The Browns are coming. Friends.
The Ingstroms are coming.
The Inks. Now, who are they?
The Nichols.
The Nichols and the Ingstroms. Good. All y'all come join us. It's going to be a big family affair. 844-881-8844 if you want to call, if you don't have the internet. And some of you, I'm sure, maybe don't. I don't know how you're seeing this if you don't have the internet. Hey, listen, what else I want to tell you about? Oh, we have Christmas specials over there at marklowry.com. You can get the Piper's Great Adventures book with a CD of me telling the stories. You get Mary Did You Know book and CD. You get What's Not to Love, my latest CD. And you get the Mark Lowry bobblehead. And I have one over here that's broke. I love this one, though. It looks like, look at this head with no, that's me now anyway. There's no neck. You know, at some point the neck goes away. Look at there. It's no neck. And here is Bella Dean. Looky here. Look who's here. Look who's here. Look at Bella Dean. Hi, Bella Dean. Say hello. Edith Brown sure wants to see you. That's Norman Holland's sister. Texted me and said, I sure miss Bella Dean. Well, Bella Dean is doing good, and she's right there. Let's see, there are other Christmas specials. One more special I want to tell you about. It is right here. Look at this one. For $20, you get, that'd be a good stocking stuffer right there. Mary Did You Know CD and my Christmas CD, which it is, and the Mary Did You Know gift book. So if you go over to marklowry.com, you can look at all that. Hey, everybody. Hey, Melvin Smith. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, buddy. I see Melvin Smith. There's your comment. Did you know Mike Lowry is... Wait. Here, look at this. Mike, did you know this? Did you know Mike Lowry is the name of Will Smith's character in the movie Bad Boys?
Yeah, I get it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
I went to get my hair cut, and the lady said, Mike Lowry. I said, no, Mark Lowry. Mike's my brother. She said, you in that movie. And that's first I learned about it. So, yeah, he's in a movie, my brother. Hello, Chris Ladd. Hello, Brenda Camp, Josephine Foucault, Michelle Williams. All of you tuning in. How many of you are in here right now? And Lauren Talley will be with us in just a moment. I want to make sure I've remembered everything I want to do. Oh, here's a song. Is this? I've never been out of his care. I went out. My brother and I, when he got here, I got the guitar. Did we use that guitar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We went and bought the guitar, then we came right home, and we recorded this. This right here. He sees everything I do. The arms of God are around me, and they keep me safe and secure. And He knows where I am every hour of every day. He knows each thought I think. He knows each word that I might say. And although there've been times I've stepped out of His will, I've never been out of His care. This changing world alarms me, with war, with sin, and with strife. But my loving Father, He charms me with joy, with peace, and with life. And He knows where I am every hour of every day. He knows each thought I think and every word that I will say. And although there've been times I stepped out of His will, I have never been out of His care. I have never been out of His care. Oh yeah. That was my brother Mike in the back with the hawks.
And the bats.
The bat's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
So Mike, how wonderful was it being my bigger brother?
It was great.
Was it great, Mike?
Because I was bigger.
How often did you beat me up?
Oh, not enough.
Not enough. I figured that was coming.
Yeah.
You like my guitar?
I do. It's a great guitar. Beautiful guitar.
I built this right before he came, so he'd have something to play. I called it a Taylor, but I just put that on there so people would know.
Yeah. Good
You
guitar.
ought to, you know, if your name was Taylor.
Oh.
Let me see if I can still do that D again you told me.
Okay.
There.
First finger.
Is that right?
No, where's your first finger?
First.
Third string, second fret. Right there.
There.
Second finger, first string. There you go. And then your third finger on the second string, third fret. And then just
There.
play the 4 strings. 4 strings.
Oh. Wait,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not doing something right.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, wait, here's the problem.
That finger is touching that string.
That finger,
This finger is touching the string.
this
See?
finger's touching that. Oh, it sure is. How do you lose weight in your fingers?
You gotta do finger exercises.
Now you say I need to get softer strings.
Well,
Can I get softer strings? 'Cause
those
these are
a-
really hurting
those are a
the
little
tips of my
he-
fingers.
Those are a little heavy. You're gonna have to get calluses too, though.
But Mike, now, can't you put nail polish on there?
Could.
I've
but-
heard that works.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it'll toughen them up.
Oh,
I promise.
I haven't heard that, but
No, nail polish, clear nail polish right there on the fingertips.
yeah,
I've heard that's a guitar secret in Nashville.
it is.
No, I've heard.
Really?
Oh, well. I don't know for sure. Okay, there,
No.
No.
You doing the D again?
there,
Okay, yeah, that's it.
there,
Right.
there.
Right.
Okay, let me see if I got it. I need to learn this on the ukulele first, so these other two strings aren't in the way.
That's pretty good. It'll get better.
Oh, ho, ho, do, 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 you are leaving. Ah, da, boo, do, 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 do. I got that one chord down.
You do.
So someone asked, it flew by and I didn't get, which one of us got in trouble the most?
You by far.
Really?
By far.
Did you ever get in trouble?
On Sundays. But usually, the thing I remember is that we would always get spankings just about every Sunday for
Really?
messing up. Yeah. You got spankings almost every day, but Sundays was like I got included. And so we would get, Daddy would say, "You're going to get up.
Come this way.
You boys are both getting spankings when you get home," and then we'd go out and eat at Wyatt's or somewhere.
Wyatt's cafeteria.
Oh yeah, an hour would go by, and Dad has completely forgot about it. About the time we get to the that place where we always turn, where that big water tower was, Mark would go, "Dad, you still gonna spank us?" He had forgotten about it, Oh God.
Dad had forgotten about it.
Yeah, until you reminded him.
And I remember getting in trouble big time because I kicked over your army men. Or do you remember that?
You more than once.
I did it more than once?
Yeah.
Why would I do that?
You were mean. You were a mean kid.
Was I?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, now the truth comes out. I was mean. Well, I just thought, okay, I see these little men. I remember what I was thinking, really, and I'm King Kong. And I'll walk through there and knock the fool out of them, and you just would love that. But evidently you didn't see the game I was trying to play.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
so
That's okay. You're forgiven.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Hi from Canute, Ohio. Hello, Lowry Maurer. From Brazil, hello, Saulo Nunez. Choir practice and the old sanctuary. Do you remember the old sanctuary, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Scary.
good. It's still over there on 11th Street.
Yeah, I wouldn't go in it.
All right, y'all, listen. Jonathan A. Martin, my dear friend, who I've asked to give us a little sermon every week, a little 4-minute sermon, and then Lauren Talley will be here, and you don't want to miss it.
Hey guys, this is Jonathan Martin here. I hope you're doing well. It's so good to be back with you all. Mark, thanks so much for letting me be on the show. You know that I love you and so appreciate you, my friend. And I'm just glad to have the opportunity to be able to share with y'all a bit. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina again tonight with my family for Thanksgiving. Just got back from speaking in New Hampshire yesterday in a beautiful little town called Exeter. And the pastor had asked me to share on the story of the prodigal son, which I know is a story a lot of us know and love. I certainly feel like it's kind of been running the background of everything I've been saying and doing these last couple years. But it also feels like no matter where I am or where I look at that text, I always see something else that's really unique and particular and beautiful. And I think the extraordinary thing for me right now that really I've been chewing on for the last few months is the fact that when the prodigal son, after he's spent his father's inheritance early on dissolute living, to use the language of the text, when he's down in the pig pen, which is the worst possible place you could be for a good Jewish boy, when he first thinks about coming home to his father, the only thing that he can imagine is a kind of business arrangement. He's hoping that basically his dad will strike up a deal with him. So best case scenario, he comes home, he's going to tell his dad that I'm willing to work with you as a servant, and maybe, just maybe, he'll see it as being in his own best interest, some kind of cheap labor. Maybe we can make a deal. And the thing that's so striking to me about that is that from the place of his sin, living from his place of this selfishness and self-indulgence, that's the best he can imagine of his father, is some kind of a business arrangement. Now, that's not who his dad is. And for me, this is a really powerful insight into the psychology of sin, or again, as I would say here, as our own kind of like selfishness, is that when we're living from that place, it doesn't change who God is or how God is. Notice the prodigal son's behavior never changes his father's disposition towards him or his heart towards him in any way. It doesn't change God, but it changes him. It changes his perception of his father. From the place of the hog pen, to quote the great Dominican theologian Herbert McCabe, the best he can imagine about God is that he's a petty, punitive ogre. That insight has been so crucial for me, because what I've come to see is that whenever I'm in a place where I feel separated from God, I'm trying to remind myself these days that that's always in my head. That's always illusory. That's really the danger of sin. It's not what it does to God, but what it does to us, how it alters our own perception so that we're not able to see rightly. And I'm just saying that tonight to encourage somebody that if you're in a place where God feels distant, that is in your head. The Apostle Paul says that nothing can separate us from the love of God. Absolutely nothing. Nothing you've said, nothing you've done, nothing that you've got wrong, no way that you've missed it. Nothing separates you from the love of God. That means the only trick is like it was for the prodigal son, coming to that place of, as the text says, coming to himself, that place of coming awake. There's nothing else that needs to be done. God has already demonstrated the lengths he's willing to go to get his daughters and his sons back home. All it takes is waking up. The very moment that you do, he's right there. He's always been right there. Even when you make your bed in hell, he is there. So if there's a sense of separation, it is not real. It is not actual. It only exists in your mind. Separation is illusion. That's my little word for you guys tonight. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Jonathan. I love him. I love his little messages. I've asked him to include those. Oh, Mike, you've changed.
Yep.
Everybody moved around. We thought that'd be fun if you come back. And there's a dead one up there on the bed. Say hi, Dana. She walked in. So we are all here. Yeah, some of you are alone on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I am so sorry. But you know what? You could try to find some friends. You know, because all of us are friends except for my brother. There's not a way except for y'all. Y'all related. Dina and I are friends. I mean, we're not all blood. You know, you can choose your family and surround yourself with people you like, but you got to get out and about. You got to go be friendly, right? I mean, that's the only way I know to do it.
Friendly.
You know,
Show yourself friendly.
Yeah.
And you'll have friends.
Yeah. Hey, so thank you, Jonathan Martin. It's time for our sweet Lauren Talley. I had the best time interviewing her. You know, I watched her grow up. In on those Gaither videos and out on the road with the Talley trio, and what a wonderful young lady she is. And so I interviewed her the other day, and I'm going to play it for you now. Hello, Lauren.
How are you?
Lauren, you know, when I heard that you were going to be on Mondays with Mark, and I'm so excited, I thought, now, I don't need to do any research on Lauren Talley. I've known her since before she was born.
We've known each other for 100 years at least.
And it seems like that, you know, weren't you on all those Gaither kid shows? And
well, I wasn't on the kids' videos. I didn't actually do a video until I was like 14. And I can tell you which one it was. It was the Homecoming, Texas video, like right at the very beginning. It was one of the first ones we ever did. Yeah. And so I wasn't even supposed to be on the set that day. I was tagging along with my family, and Lana came and got me. She said, "We need somebody to fill an extra seat. Can you come and sit on stage and sing some of the songs?" I'm like 13 years old. Sure, I'll be there. So yeah, and that was like the first time that I ever was on any of those videos, and I loved it. I noticed your picture of JD you've got there back behind.
I know, don't you love that?
That's kind of funny that JD is haunting your guest bedroom.
Yeah, my friend painted that, and that's where I play. Hey, back up just a little bit. So, yeah, just a little bit, so we're not so close. I want to ask you, what is it like to grow up in a gospel music family?
That's the question that everybody asks, and I guess for most people that's unique. For me, that's normal.
Right,
and
you have nothing to compare it to.
Right, I don't have anything to compare it to, and I don't have that much in common with people who grow up under normal circumstances, but my family and I are very close and always have been, and it was cool for me because I was immersed in church and in the ways of the Lord from a very, very early age. And I got to know all of the people that most people will ever get to only see on TV or whatever.
Right.
And I got to know all of them, and those people are what I consider my extended family.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of great mentors growing up. I had a lot of great examples in front of me. And I have a lot of extended grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles
Sure.
through people that I've gotten to know through music over the years. And a lot of those people were really influential in my own development as a person and an artist too. So.
And you are how many years have you been in the Talley trio?
You're not going to believe this. 22 years. Is that not crazy?
How old? Well, now I'm gonna give
I
your
don't
age
mind
away,
telling
but
my age. I own it. I admit it. It's all good.
how
I
old?
started singing with mom and dad at 13.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm 35 now, and yeah,
Oh,
I can't believe
wow.
it.
35. But you
I
still
know,
look,
and I'm about to have a birthday too.
well, you still look 25 though.
God bless you. You're lying, but I
You
love you
don't have
for
a
it.
wrinkle. I'm looking down my bifocals to see the wrinkles. That's a good thing about aging. You know, just about time you get old enough to not focus up close, your mate has wrinkles and you can't see them. So that's good.
There's that. That's
Now,
true.
now
What was it Bethel always used to say about the wrinkles?
Fat.
Yeah.
Fat pops out the wrinkles. That's what she said.
Well, you know, there's something to that.
Well, that's
so
what the
as much
ladies.
as I love to eat, I'm thinking that's gonna help me out.
Well, also
you know?
they inject fat into these
I
things.
know. That's a little weird though.
Yeah, then you
However, I got fat though that they can take from somewhere else and put up there if they want to. That will
then
not
you look
bother me
like a
at all.
sock monkey.
Right.
So now, what are you doing? Are you still in the Talley trio?
Yeah. My parents and I are still on the road quite a bit. We do probably between 100, 130 dates a year, which is not nearly as much as some other people, but I also do other things in addition to singing with the family. This week I did a couple of solo concerts, and I was at a women's conference. I did, I sang for a college chapel just the other day. I think when you first called me about this, I was there. And so, yeah, I do lots of other things besides just sing with the group. And I'm starting to do more and more of those things, going out on my own. And you know from experience that doing things just you is a totally different animal than singing with a group.
Oh yeah, all right, explain that. How is it different for you?
Well, it's just a different challenge when it's just you, as opposed to having other people on stage that you can throw the ball to at different points, and you don't have to rely on yourself to just.
Well, let me ask you
the entire
this.
show.
Don't you find that while you're singing a song, you can still communicate that song and be thinking about where you're going next?
Totally. And you have to always be thinking about where you're going
next.
That's
the difference.
And it's...
Whoever leads the show, the program, there can only be one.
Yeah.
Or you have chaos.
And we have learned that from experience.
Who is the one in your show, in the Talley trio?
That would be me. And
you call the songs?
Yeah. Yeah. That was a gradual evolution.
How did that happen? Tell me how that happened.
Kind of by accident, really. Neither one of my parents would tell you that comes to them naturally. Neither one of them has ever felt comfortable being, the MC or the one to plan everything. But when I was younger, of course, they had to do it because, it just kind of naturally fell to them. But I would say neither one of them ever felt completely comfortable with it. Well, there was a night in Oklahoma where my dad forgot to introduce the group. And we got about 3/4 of the way through the first set. And I don't know what else was on his mind that night, but that part just slipped his mind. So I just stepped up and did it. And after it was over, we got back on the bus that night. He said, "Lauren, I thought you did a really good job with that. Why don't you just take that over and do that from now on?" I said, "Okay." Well, the person who does most of the talking needs to be the one who does most of the planning and calling the songs. Otherwise, you've got communication disasters happening. And we had a few of those. But over time, it just gradually landed in my lap more and more. And honestly, I don't know how you feel about this. I don't know if you're like me in this. You probably are. Talking to the audience and communicating with them now is my favorite part
Oh, yeah.
of what I do, because it's completely unpredictable from night to night.
Right.
Every audience is different.
You're not
Every
regurgitating someone else's
Yes.
words. When you
Yes.
sing a song, you're repeating what Gloria Gaither was thinking.
Yeah.
But when you're giving your testimony between the songs, it's your story.
Yeah. And the best part of it is when the audience talks back to you and becomes part of the crowd, and they give you that becomes part of the show, and they give you something to go on, and you play off of each other. And to me, those are the best possible moment. That's an absolute gift when the audience wants to become part of the show. But that's communicating in spoken word. Actually, that's my favorite. I actually enjoy that a little bit more than singing.
You just have to be careful.
Oh, yes.
Because,
yes, you do.
because people are not coming to hear you talk.
They're
They're coming to hear you sing. Now with me,
True.
they're coming to hear me talk. I think that's if I just get up and
Probably.
sang one song after another, not only would they be bored out of their minds, I would be bored out of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talking is such a mental release, of hearing one song after another. I mean, for instance, if you were to go to a concert and all they did was sing and never talk, you might as well stay home and play the record.
Exactly.
I want to know that artist when I leave their concert, or at least feel like I do.
Feel like you know them. Yeah.
And
that's always
you're
been a
doing.
difficult thing for me, because I'm a very private, introverted person by nature, and it's a difficult thing for me to let people that I don't know very well into my little bubble, so to speak. But I've learned over time that, I don't have to share any more than I'm comfortable sharing.
Well,
but
there's
you
a
do need
difference.
to let people see something about you.
There's a difference between sharing and exhibitionism.
Oh, that's a good thought.
In other words, you don't tell it all.
Yes.
You can't tell. They can't take it all. This is not your therapy session.
Yeah, and it's not fair to the audience to subject them to
No,
that.
they didn't buy a ticket to be your therapist.
Yeah.
They you got to share enough to relate so they can get it, because you can't tell bus stories. They don't relate to bus stories. You've got to tell life stories.
Yeah. Yeah. And for us, the thing is that the bus stories are our life stories. So we have to package those in a way that they can relate to them.
Sure.
But everybody's had the days when absolutely nothing went right, and so they can at least understand it on that level, I think. But it's so much fun. I love the unpredictable element of a live show.
So are you enjoying the live shows more now?
I do, yeah. Because before, when I didn't talk very much and all I did was sing, that, when you sing a song the same way every night with a track, and, it has to be basically the same, that can get to be a little bit monotonous. But then when I started doing more of the direct communication with the crowd, that was a new challenge for me.
Do you find yourself changing the program in the middle of it?
Always.
That's called the Holy Spirit.
Yes. I start out with a basic plan, but it always takes the detour.
Yeah.
And it drives my sound man crazy. He always says, why can't you just make a list and stick to it? God don't work that way.
Yeah, that's right. God doesn't. And you know what? How boring would that be?
Oh.
To do the same show every night, the same testimony, the same word. I mean, just in the same row. I'm not saying there are certain stories that are your sugar sticks that everybody wants to hear, but you mix it up.
Yeah. You have to, because every audience is unique, and every situation is unique, and one night can never be the same as the one before.
No.
But that's just so much fun to me.
So now your parents, as they age, what are you going to do with them?
Well, right now we're at the point where, we don't live together anymore. So I see them, on the road, basically. That's where we spend the majority of our time. And we come together on the road and we catch up. Well, what'd you do this week? What'd you do that week? And then we're kind of at the stage where they're gonna kill me for saying this, but they ain't here. So
Yeah. No one
you know,
watches this.
I know, and I'm sure nobody will tell them I said this.
No.
That you know that they're losing things more often than they used to.
Like
You
their
know how
keys and
yeah, like the keys
honey, it'll get
and the
worse.
cell phone, and so yeah, we spend time every week on the bus looking for things,
Yeah.
and
It'll get worse.
so yeah, I know,
Yeah.
and
Well, they're in their
my
60s, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
they're.
see, I just turned 60.
I
Your
was gonna
mother's
ask.
younger than me, though, I think.
No, both of my parents are older than you.
Oh, really?
But I won't say by how much.
Well, you don't have. But you think about it. How do you see? I hate this question, but I'm going to ask it. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, or do you? I never did. When people would ask me that, I say I don't. I'm surprised I got this far. I don't. I have no plans.
I have tried to envision the future, and I'm a person that very much wants to plan the future out. I don't. I want to know exactly what's going to happen. I don't want any surprises. I don't want to be blindsided. But I have learned that life does not work that way. And so in 5 years, here's where I'd like to be. I would like to, at the age that my parents are, I would say at that point, retirement will be very much in the discussion, in the picture.
So you don't want to do this forever?
Well, they're not going to do this forever.
Well, yeah, but would you start a Talleys?
I will still be doing this. I will.
You'll be doing solo stuff.
I want my solo career to be very much thriving and flourishing.
And how do people? Do you have a website where they can find you?
Oh yes, LaurenTalley.com. And I'm all over social media. Now, I do lots of other things besides sing. I speak, I write a column for the Singing News every month called the Timothy Chronicles. Mm-hmm. I've written a book, and I do, I do. I did a book several years ago called Songs in the Night, and it was kind of my chronicle of some of the things that I've been through, some physical issues, depression, anxiety, some things like that. But it's a 10-step Bible study for people who are going through difficult times and need some encouragement and some emotional and spiritual healing, really. And it's a combination of my story and the study that the Lord took me through on how to overcome those things. And
have you overcome depression? You say overcome those things.
I wouldn't say that I've completely overcome it. The Lord's helped me learn how to cope with it and how to manage it and how to not be a slave to it. We'll leave it. We'll put it at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that's something that a lot of people battle. And I want to tell people that there's no shame in struggling.
No. And there's medicine for that.
Yes,
take your medicine.
The Lord.
Listen, if you're bipolar, if you're depressed, and there is medicine that can help you, yes. I am all for it. If somebody gives you that self-righteous, sanctimonious look and tells you shouldn't take your medicine, tell them to skip their next open heart surgery.
No. No, there is absolutely no judgment. As far as I'm concerned about if you need medicine.
Sometimes the Lord does heal you.
It's all good.
Yeah, sometimes He heals you, and sometimes He let the doctors figure out what could help you.
Absolutely, and it's not the same for everybody. Mm-mm. And I tell you what I've really learned in the last few years is I thought years ago, especially growing up, raised around church and around Christianity, I really had a works theology going. I really felt like, if I could do anything, if I just tried hard enough, and I could fix any situation if I just tried hard enough. And that perfectionistic works theology of just try harder to be good and God will be pleased with you really messed my thinking up in a lot of ways. And I have learned through the past several years when things in my life happened that I could not control, that I had no answer for, I started learning about grace. And I learned how to accept grace for myself.
Yeah.
And that's helped me deal with a lot of things, such as the things that I struggled with. And
now, did you find it through any books? Did you read any books about grace that you could recommend?
I really can't say that it was one specific thing that came across my path, but just actually picking up the Bible and actually reading what God had to say about grace.
In
And he
Galatians.
has a whole lot more grace than most of us have ever been willing to accept for ourselves, or ever thought it was okay to accept. And I'm here to tell you now, it is okay to accept grace. You don't deserve it. You never will.
Right.
I don't, and I never will. And when we realize just how much we need the grace of God,
Well, we may
it's
not
easier to give it
deserve
to other
it.
people.
We may not deserve it, but we were worth it
Absolutely.
because God says so.
Yeah,
And one thing I've learned is the pot doesn't get to tell the potter what the pot's worth.
that's right.
He thought we were worth dying for, and how rude not to agree with him.
So true. So true. And there are so many Christians who are still caught up in this idea of I have to do this or not do that in order to be pleasing to God. I have to follow this rule and that rule in order to please God. And yes, God is pleased when we love him. He's pleased when we serve him. And he's displeased with sin, but that's not the same thing as him being displeased with us.
No.
We are his children. He delights in us.
Yes, he does.
And I had never given that a whole lot of thought growing up because I was so consumed with doing everything just right. But when you think about a father who just wants his child to crawl up into his lap, and who just wants us to love him and do things out of our love for him.
Right.
That changed everything about how I think about God.
Vestal used to say, I just don't want to hurt his feelings. And the thing is,
that's a great way of thinking.
I've learned the fear of God will get your attention, but the
Yeah.
love of God will constrain you.
It really will.
When you fall in love with him, you just don't, like Vestal says, you just don't want to hurt his feelings.
You don't want to hurt him. And the motivation for wanting to live a better Christian life, at least according to our human minds, is out of love and not fear.
What is a better Christian life?
You know what? I told somebody the other day, I said, I think we've got to get away from this idea of being a better Christian.
I think
there is no such thing as being a better Christian.
I don't know how you be a better Christian.
You either are or you are not.
Well, just be, you just, I think the whole thing is God, we don't have to earn any kind of love from God because he is madly in love with us like any healthy parent is. Mm-hmm. You just look at a healthy parent and you will see a broken image of the love of God. Yeah. The way they look at their children. Yeah. And you don't have children, right?
I don't have any children. No.
Okay, so and I don't either.
But I want them.
I will never understand this. And I was talking to my brother at lunch today. He was talking about his kids. I said, you will have the greater judgment because you have known what it's like to love unconditionally. Mm-hmm. You have 4 children. So those of us who've never had children, we're going to get off easier, I think, because all we've had is dogs. And I think, that's not the same as you're looking into your very image. And when God looks at you, he sees his very image. We are the image of God.
Yeah. And one thing that he's been trying to teach me over the last few years, and you and I have this experience in common, I think, is learning how to not be so self-focused and learning how to look at other people the way that he does. And one thing that he used in my lesson was with my grandmother, who spent the last 10 years of her life with Alzheimer's disease. Oh. And I know that your family's been through that also. Right. You really do learn about loving others and giving them grace when they can't do anything for you and they're completely dependent on you. That teaches you a whole lot about your relationship with the Lord.
You know what I loved about my mother during her dementia years? She forgot I was in the vocal band. She forgot.
And didn't care, probably.
No, that's what she forgot. I became her little boy again.
Yeah.
And there was none of that, because when I joined the vocal band, she became a fan. Yeah. And when your mother is a fan, that's kind of weird.
It is, but in a way it's cool. My grandfather told everybody in the nursing home and in the hospital and at their church and wherever they went, he told everybody that his granddaughter was a singer.
Right.
and sold CDs in the hallway of the nursing home.
He did?
He did.
Yeah, that's great.
And and he was just so proud of that. And so it is a little bit weird though,
Yeah.
when it's
Well,
like,
when you go
just wanna
home for
Papa, it ain't
Christmas
that big a deal,
and you're
okay? But
lying
it was
on
a
the
big deal to him.
couch and your mother's taking pictures while you're home for Christmas lying on the couch. And I think it could be because I didn't get to come home that much, maybe. Maybe. So so you said the future for you is that you're going to keep doing what you're doing. And
Absolutely.
eventually when the parents are too old to get out there and do it, you're going to keep singing.
Or whenever they decide that, that they want to go home, whatever they want for their lives and future, I'm totally fine with, because as hard as they've worked all these years, they deserve to, go out however they want to go out and enjoy the rest of their lives. I want them to do that. But God has definitely called me to do what I'm doing. And so his calling on my life does not end with somebody else's decision. And so I definitely have a desire to keep singing, keep performing. I'm going to be writing more and going to be speaking more. So I would say that the things I'm doing that I've done up to this point will continue, but they'll just evolve. They'll keep unfolding and keep changing. And that's really what I would like. Over the next 5 years, I'd like for the career to go off in a totally new place that I couldn't have even seen coming before. And I feel pretty sure, as far as if the Lord's in charge of it, that it probably will, because he don't ever let us in on the whole picture.
He makes all things new, doesn't he?
He does.
Hey, listen.
Did you ever? I want to ask you something.
Okay.
I know this is your interview, but I want
to
ask
go
you,
ahead.
My gosh, what artist wouldn't want to take advantage of this opportunity here? When you started out as a solo artist, doing your own thing, and then you joined a group, and then it was solo again. How did you navigate all of those changes? Was that scary for you to go into something new, or?
Well, I tell you, in 1988, I signed a solo recording contract with Word, and at the same time was offered to be in the vocal band. So I told Bill, I said, "How do you do both things?" And he said this. I'll never forget when he said this. He said, "Well, I've always done many things." And I thought, well, if you can, I can too. So I signed my solo deal with Word, and I had that going. And I was touring that. All the time I was going with vocal band. We were balancing.
I had a bunch of those Word recordings of yours.
Yeah, we were balancing 2 tours at the same time during that time. I'd be with the vocal band a little, whenever, and just I don't know how they did it, but they balanced it somehow. And so I never really quit doing the solo thing the whole time I was with the vocal band.
Yeah, I remember that. And but was that tough for you to switch gears from one to the other?
No.
Or was it all just kind of a
I have ADD,
of the same
so
thing?
it was with the ADD. It's like, okay, I get to do this for a minute, and then I get to do this for a minute, and then I get to go write a song, and then I get to go write a book, and then I get to go try to do a podcast, and then my whole life is ADD, and I love that.
That's what I hope to do for myself. I hope to be able to do lots of different things and not just have the one thing.
Well, see, when you're like me and you don't do anything real well, you got to do a lot of things. And I figure if you spin enough plates, some of them will fly.
Well, obviously yours has, because I've never seen a better communicator in front of an audience than you.
Oh, thank you. That's
and what
so sweet.
I love about you is you can have them in the floor laughing 1 minute, and then you drop a truth bomb on them that has them really contemplating their lives, and it's just from one thing to the next, and it's just seamless.
Oh,
and
thank
I
you.
admire that very much about your
Well, Lauren, I have
style.
loved you and your family. Kirk, how's Kirk doing?
He's doing awesome. He works for Dillard's, selling Polo Ralph Lauren clothes in Knoxville, and he's still Kirk. His personality's still very much the same.
He had some vocal problems, though, right?
Yeah, he has a vocal disorder called spasmodic dysphonia that prevents him from singing, really. But the last time I saw him, which was just a few days ago, he said he had just gotten another treatment from his doctor, and his voice actually sounded a little bit better. So,
good.
Hopefully they'll keep trying new things, and he'll still be able to do what he's always done.
Well, darling, I love you spending time with
Well,
me
I
today
love
on
you. This has
Mondays
been
with
fun.
Mark. I know we got to do this again sometime.
I would love to. Just
Well,
send me a shout. I would
if
love
you
to.
if you write another book or something, come on and we'll talk about it.
Oh, I'd love to. Thanks for having me on. This has been fun.
I love you, honey. Have a good
Love you.
afternoon. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Well, that was my time with Lauren. We had such a good interview, didn't we, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mike, you were telling me, sit up here so you can kind of get in the picture. While we were playing Lauren's tape, you said something about Bill Dixon. When we were little, what did I do?
Well, you first of all always throwing bricks and hammers and stuff at me, so you were, being a little brother that without thinking the consequences. But you did some cool things. This one cool thing I remember was Bill Dixon was a couple years older than me, and we were down the street, and Bill was on top of me, whipping me, beating me up, and you ran about 3 blocks. You were about 4 years old, and you hit him full stride and knocked him off of me, and I got up and chewed you out for doing it.
For helping. See, I was just trying to help. Well, we grew up, didn't we, Mike?
Yeah.
And now we like each other. We not only love each other, we like each other. I hate it for y'all that don't have a sibling that you love or like. And because I love all mine, like them. And I'm very blessed. Oh, I still got Lauren Talley. See, I'm the director, y'all. I forget to pull names down when they're over. But for those of you who have made it to the bitter end, I want to play for you an 11-minute video. This is my brother and I. We put on our helmets that have the little GoPro camera sitting on top of them. We got on my scooters yesterday.
That was a lot of fun.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we rode all over Houston. We went to eat at Don Teo's.
Right.
Which is
the old Monterey House. Yeah, it was the best Mexican food in Houston. Really.
We grew up on it, didn't
Yeah, it was great.
I mean, I remember eating there more than Mama cooking. Do you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. And so I've always loved Mexican food. But, and then what did we do? Oh, but I want you to know, there are parts of this video where it looks like we are flying, going fast. We're never going over 40. We're never getting on the interstate. Some of these feeder roads look like interstates. I'm not getting on the interstate. I just want to tell you, because I don't want to read all these comments. Don't mother me. My mother's dead, and I have no room for another one. But watch the video if you want to, and don't get scared. I lived through this, okay? And I
happy
never.
Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for?
My kids and my wife and the Lord.
How are your kids doing?
They're doing good. We're not all together
Right
because they're all their own thing, but
Their own lives.
Yeah, but I'm with you. Natasha's with her family in Georgia,
And Chris is.
he's in Ohio. Courtney's in Philadelphia with her husband, and the 2 younger ones are in Lynchburg.
And what are they doing?
Doing their own thing.
They're doing
I
their
don't
own
know what
thing.
they're doing. Yeah.
They don't check in with you?
They don't.
At what age?
The girls are better than the guys, but
Really?
yeah.
So girls are better to have than
No, I'm not
boys?
saying that.
But
No.
they do check. Boys, when you're done, like, Guy Penrod will never hear from his kids again except for that girl, right?
More from her.
Isn't that sad? What's wrong with the boys?
Well, did you ever call home?
No. No, I still don't.
Yeah.
I text. No, but let me ask you this. But girls like Courtney checks in with you all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And Chelsea, I guess.
Yeah. I got a text from Courtney today.
But Chad every...
No, never. Hardly. I have to call Chad.
And Chris?
But it's not because he doesn't love us. He just, I never.
Well, I don't know.
I never call
Let's
home.
think about that. Let's delve into that.
No. Hey, this is his T-shirt.
Yeah,
his band.
show him.
This
He's
is,
got a band.
He's got a band, and I'm
called
wearing his.
Shallow Talent.
Yeah.
Which, if he ever does get famous, the comedians are going to have a great time with that name.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Shallow Talent. But he's very talented. But
I hear from Chris. Chris, yeah.
Okay, of the 4, and I ask everybody who has kids, which one do you like the most?
No, I like them all. That's not
Really?
No, that's not.
If you had a gun to your head, and you could only one could live,
I'd shoot me.
Would you really?
Yeah.
I would too. I'd shoot you too first. I love you,
right.
Mike. You're a good brother. You've been a really
I
good
love you
brother.
too.
And you know what? You're a great dad. You're a great husband.
Yeah.
I loved when I would stay in their home and when Courtney would give me her room. And what house was it that your bedroom butted up to hers? There was one wall.
Yeah, that was over at Eastbrook Road.
Eastbrook Road, okay. That whenever I'd stay with them, I'd always hope that I could stay there if Mama would let me. Because, you know, Mama she wanted me to be there when I was there, but I'd say I got to go see them. But anyway, I'd be sleeping in Courtney's bed, and I would hear Mike and Natasha laughing through the walls. And I remember thinking, isn't that great that she grew up hearing them laugh at each other? Because Natasha thinks he's hysterical, doesn't she? She
still laughs at my jokes.
Well, you are funny. You're very funny. But she's got the best laugh.
She does.
And you could hear her through the walls laughing. I thought, isn't that great that they didn't grow up? Anyway, I just kind of brought a tear to my eye thinking about that when I was there. So I'm proud of you. You've done
thanks.
good.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Well, here is our video. Don't get scared. It was all fun, and we both lived through it, and it will not let me grab it. What is going on? See? And someone chewed me out for this. Mark, you should be prepared. Well, I'm trying to be prepared. Hey, next week is the Martins, y'all. The Martins will be here on Mondays with Mark, and I will see you then.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to go eat at Monterey House on scooters.
Okay, went beep, beep, beep.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think?
I think it's going to be a fun day. It's beautiful weather. Make sure that these are adjusted good.
Yeah. Where are we going, left here?
Left, yeah. Is this fun or what?
Yeah.
Look at us, Mike. Here we go. Go left. We'll go to Dos Tios,
Which used to be Monterey House.
then we'll go to, I want to run by the scooter place on the way. It's on the way.
We gotta get gas too.
Oh, you do?
I mean, we should. I'm halfway. Well, I mean, I got 4 dots out of 6. What do you got?
Go all day.
Oh, okay. Look at a little girl.
Hello, little girl. Hello.
You know what I wish I'd have brought is a battery charger.
This used to be Monterey House. Now, as we enter a 60-plus-year-old man, it's not Monterey House anymore. It's Don Tio's. He bought it. Hello. I can hear something.
You can hear something. What do you mean?
Often. So Felix's Mexican restaurant down on Westheimer.
I'd love to go there too.
Mom and Dad had their first date.
That's where they went? Mom
And Daddy said he came home, took off his socks, and burped up a bean.
Messed it up. Need to drop cheese. He's never been a real big fan of Mexican food, has he?
I don't know. He eats it.
Fiesta.
Yeah, thank you.
Look at there now. Here's
Be careful, okay?
Fiesta dinner.
Yes, sir.
Just like old times. Thank you.
Everything okay?
Oh, yeah.
Looks delicious.
Enjoy your food. Little more chips?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me take it.
Yeah, I'll get some of these off of here.
All right.
Okay. All right, there you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the way you do it. You gonna bless it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for this day. Thanks for the food. That you bless them. Keep us safe today on these scooters and do us home. Amen. Just like I remember it. Just like I remember it.
My mama always loved Mexican food. She taught us to love it. And it seemed to be a lot easier for her to take us to Monterey House than for her to cook. Do you remember her cooking much?
Remember, she used to have the, well, yeah,
You do?
later on in life. She was a great cook when we were in Lynchburg.
But when we were growing up, we ate out a lot.
I had a lot. And I remember she used to have those pretty fab Bill Cutlets. Remember those?
I bet I loved them though.
Thank you.
I love prefab veal cutlets.
And I remember we used to have fish sticks a lot. Remember those?
Not really.
Yeah. Which I liked them. And I remember sitting at that little bar that we had there.
At 90-30? We could scoot over there
That would be fun.
rather than go on that other trip. Well, of course, we could do both.
Whatever. I'm just along for the ride.
But I don't know.
This was great, great meal. There we go.